Welcome everybody to the S.F.W.P Wrestling Podcast. You're home for all wrestling, everything wrestling. My bad, I'm killing this Jersey Mike's. What's up, Soto? What's up, big dog?
What's up? How's it going? Are you good? You sounded like you were gonna choke yourself there.
Jersey Mike's. If you've seen this right now, you should talk to us because I just bought it number 5, regular number 5, like the mayo, Mike's Way, like ham, cheese, salami, lettuce, tomato, and all that. Yeah, I buy it down here, choked up, drinking the vanilla Coke. I'm like, this is delicious. My bad. I can be more professional. Anyways, what's up, Sutter? What's going on, big dog? How's your day? How's your week?
Not much, just got home from work, and obviously, duty calls. We have a show to run, a weekly show to run.
We've been summoned for an episode.
Yeah, a lot of interesting topics that we have on today's episode, right? As you can see, Andrade being back in AEW, right? Who we believe it will be Cena's last opponent, right? Or who should be Cena's last opponent. We just got we have injury updates. Just a well organized show today.
Well organized show. I'll take that.
Yeah.
I mean, are we always organized? Even in the midst
of course. But we're talking to the people live, so we got to be polite.
For the people, by the people.
Absolutely.
So let's get right into it, shall we?
All right. Yeah. So again, let's start with WWE, right? And the fact is, who should be John Cena's last opponent? His dates are numbered now. I think he has, if I'm not mistaken, he has 4 appearances left, right? Which would be Survivor Series, the one in Madison Square Garden. I think he has 2 Raw left, the Survivor Series, and obviously,
and he's got the one show in Boston, which is supposed to be his last one.
So the last show is in DC.
Oh, it's DC now? Okay.
Yeah. So it's at Saturday night's main event, December 13th. So that's his final match. But let's put our booking cap on, right? Who would you put as John Cena's last opponent?
Sorry, Adam Copeland.
You're still going with that.
Why would I not? His contract is up at October 2nd, 2020. His contract is up at the end of the month.
Okay.
And he already said, he was like, oh, you sit on Dynamite last week. He was like, oh, I need to do something with my family. I can't do this right now. I got to attend to some things. Now, granted, we spoke about it, like he's getting written off, which is, he's got a movie and a TV show to do. But
yeah,
his contract's coming up. So you don't know.
Listen, I think that's just.
And then
I think in a perfect world,
I'm back.
Yeah, I think in a perfect world it would be Edge because I think Edge was.
You know who we're talking about here? We're talking about John Cena. Whether it's perfect or not, he's gonna make sure it's perfect.
Yeah, but you know what though? Like, I think Copeland. I think he's gonna do good by Tony. I think he's the way that Tony Khan has booked Copeland and everything like that. I just think he's going to be loyal as much as like fans would love to see John Cena's last match against his all-time rival. I'm going a different route. I feel like for some reason, and I hope this isn't the case, there was kind of like unfinished business between John Cena and Brock Lesnar, and I hope we don't see that again.
Him beating Lesnar?
Yeah, just like Lesnar beating him like so easily, right? And I was like, maybe they'll run it back, and I really hope they don't because I feel like all right, it ran its course. I kind of want to see something fresh, right? So if Cena's in this mood of like building for the future, right, passing along the torch and whatnot, right? I think it should be somebody who has never faced Cena, who a lot of people see as, a future piece, a future cornerstone for WWE. If I'm booking it, I would probably do a program with Dominic Mysterio.
You're letting Dom be the one?
I'm doing it. I'm definitely choosing Dom, and here's why.
Okay.
It would make a lot of sense. Cena is not a Grand Slam champion. The only belt he needs is the IC champion. Nope. He's never been IC champion. So there's a story you can build with that, right? And you know, and that's what like the main focus becomes. It's like, does he end his career being a Grand Slam champion, right? Or does he give, you know, Dominic Mysterio that push, that boost, right? To take him to either, you know, a bigger level, right? Just look at like kind of like the timeline of Dominic Mysterio, right? And how when he first entered the business, tagging with Ray, you know, a lot of people
with his pops. So yeah,
a lot of people were like, oh, you know, that's cool, you know, but look at how much growth, you know, over the past couple of years. And obviously the best thing he did was go heel, go and become a member of the Judgment Day. And, you know, look at him now, you know, AAA mega champion, current IC champion. So I think the story is there for him to have a one-on-one battle against John Cena.
Okay. I don't want to believe it out of anybody's way, but if you were to book it, the way you book it, I can see it.
Yeah, because I listen. I think about it this way: like either Cena retires as IC champion, kind of like again similar to Sting, right? Because usually when somebody has a last match and it's for the title, we're used to seeing them not win, right? Mm-hmm. And then they just, you know, flat out retire. But I think with Sting, what happened with Sting in AEW, right, where he actually defended the AEW World Tag Team Champions with Darby, and he retired as a champion. A lot of fans are saying, oh, okay, so there is that possibility where you can retire as a champion, right? So you can do the same thing with Cena here if you go that route, right? But I think, you know, based on reports we've been seeing where like Cena is just kind of like giving back and trying to like push the younger, you know, wrestlers and whatnot.
What Sammy did on SmackDown.
Yeah, I mean, again, I didn't want to see, you know, obviously with John Cena and Brock Lesnar doesn't need the push. He's already well established, right? But John Cena brings up a good point. He's retiring while Brock Lesnar is continuing to wrestle. So
and plus it was kind of like that your last match with fucking Lesnar is you getting your ass beat.
Yeah,
you know
and you want to.
It makes sense.
And you want to boost Dominic Mysterio's ego that much, have him defeat Cena and have him brag about how he like retired John Cena. Like that would be nuclear heat. Because right now
it may be no reason to ever make him a face ever again.
Yeah, I mean he's he's becoming he's connecting with the crowd, and for him to be a top heel, a lot of people are embracing him and are actually cheering him. But you know, with you know, you have him retire John Cena, I think that's just nuclear heat that, you know, that you can, you know, have with you forever, you know, brag about how you defeated the greatest of all time, you know?
Right. Listen, no. If they do, I'm gonna call you. If that happens and you see a program beginning with Dom and Cena, I'm like, oh, Soto, you may have to quit your day job. You just may have to quit your day job.
I mean, if it happens, great.
So you don't quit your day job and be a booker?
I mean, if WWE were to call me right now and be like, "Hey, we need your services," I'll be like, "Hell yeah!"
Didn't Vince for like 2 or 3 years have somebody that was doing Jerry Springer shows was writing for them? I think it was Jerry Springer shows like Days of Our Lives. One of those, you know, one of the CBS, Fox, NBC shows. But yeah, some chick came on. She's like, "Yeah, I did TV. I did WWE program for like 8 months." I was like, "Oh, we'll put this guy over." And I was like, "Well, it makes sense." Yeah. So, you know what? They need to reach down that barrel again. Yo, who the fuck is this guy? All of a sudden, this gold. Yeah, I mean, listen, if it's Dom, that'd be great. I think for both parties. Especially if you have like,
or to be honest with you, as an honorable mention, a returning Gunther.
Well, they said in the first place that Gunther was going to be like, it was Cena. Gunther was going to dethrone Cena for the title, and then things changed obviously, and then months went by, and then you had Cody doing it. So that's that. But I know that if you were to do the Dom route, you would have Cena and Ray team up to do tag team like they did in the past, and Dom just fucks it all up, whatever the case may be. And then
I don't know. I just again, I'm engaged. Like I love the fact that WWE listened to the people, the fans, right, and they were able to secure a match of John Cena versus AJ Styles, right?
Yeah, Cena says it, AJ says let's do it, and then the fans went crazy, and all of a sudden 3 hours later,
exactly. I love it. So, after that match, he only has 3 appearances left, and you can only do so much in order to build a last program or last match. So, I don't know. My gut says like they might run it back with Brock Lesnar. I hope not, but I feel like again, you did the whole. All right, let's run it back with Cena's like main rivals, right? With Orton, Punk, Lesnar, having a match now with Styles. I think now it's just okay. Let's do a last match.
That right there is for his
for the future.
Orton, Cena, Orton, Punk, Lesnar, and Styles was 4 biggest rivals.
Yeah.
So it's like that's what I'm going to list on like bring back Edge for a one timer. They brought back a bunch. They've already been. There's been rumors about bringing back many people for a one time. What the case may be. We already heard about Jericho. Even though I don't think it's going to happen, but it's a possibility. So like I'm going on that line and say bring Edge back for a one time match. I don't think that's big of a deal. It's very possible to come out here. Here's a one time payout. Go wrestle Cena for his last match. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And of course, like I know you said Edge. It's just again, it's highly unlikely like that AEW would like be like, oh yeah, go wrestle for WWE for one match and then come back. I just don't see it happening.
I mean, let's talk about somebody who went to AEW. We can talk about one match. That's what it felt like.
Yeah. All right. So continuing to Monday Night Raw, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think we've gotten to a point where Seth Rollins has gotten a little obsessive. The fact that he says, I have to beat him. I
was never your friend.
In reference to Cody Rhodes. And
I never shook your hand. Yeah, okay. It's getting bad. It's becoming gross behavior by Seth. It's annoying, to be honest. Like, I think they've had so many bangers over the years, and it's like, now this is the route you're going now. You'd be like, oh, hey, we were never cool. I never shook your hand. We were never friends, even when I saved you at 40. And it was like, yo, bro, now you're going against the grain with a lot of things that you've done in the past, and it doesn't look good to me. Now, the match is going to be a 5-star match. We all know that. But I think Seth is kind of like out of his range here when it comes to building this.
Yeah.
Because you didn't have to go that route. This wasn't, it wasn't really that necessary to do so.
Yeah.
So, but if what's the definition of sanity? Doing the same thing over and over again.
And can you really blame Seth? Like, all right, so I don't know the numbers. So again, I'm going based off of a Twitter handle, right? By the name of Sam, who goes by Rhodes Coda Era. He says, since his return in 2022, Cody Rhodes has been 22-0 against Seth Rollins.
I just put it here.
Including
Cody Rhodes holds a 22-0 record against Seth Rollins in WWE, including TV and non-TV matches since 22. Rivalry includes a historic trilogy in 22 where Rhodes won all 3 TV matches at WrestleMania 38, Backlash, and Hell in a Cell.
Yeah. And now, you might say,
who does Braun think he is? You think Cody's Undertaker? Like, what is this?
So my thing, it's like, so now what's the difference, right? Well, there's a big difference. Now Seth Rollins has an oracle. Now Seth Rollins has a faction, right? And that's what leads me to believe that he gets his first victory ever against not ever, but his first victory against Cody Rhodes.
No, it's his first ever. Let's call it that way. That's what it feels like.
No, his first victory in a long time.
20 since 2022, you're 0-22.
Yeah,
you might as well never won a match.
It's just, again, it's a complicated situation for Seth. In which, again, he's at a point where he feels embarrassed because he can never get one over Cody. And now we saw what Seth really feels about Cody, right? Never being his friend and all that, right? And again, Seth has his vision. Seth has his oracle on his side, and I think that's the biggest difference. So yes, I do think Seth Rollins will defeat Cody Rhodes in Australia. And to be honest with you, they're obviously, both of them are the champions of the company, but it seems like Seth Rollins desperately needs this victory. Like, Cody Rhodes could lose here and it does nothing for him. I think with Seth Rollins, it just, again, in order to be the top heel in the company, and kind of like what I said about like bragging and ego, Seth Rollins needs this victory over Cody Rhodes.
So, all right. So I'll put it this way: if Seth loses this match,
oh boy,
what does this do to Seth? Like, what does it do to his rapport? Whereas if Cody loses his match, what's he looking like going forward? What's the aftermath? For example, like Cena was Brock, right? If Cena won that match, it looks great. If Brock loses, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter for Brock. Brock can go do something else and still be, that guy. So now put Rollins and Rhodes in the same situation. If Rollins loses, what does this look like going forward?
So, all right, I'm going to take Cody's route first. Okay. If Cody loses, that's fine. He moves on to the next feud, which it seems to be Randy Orton.
Which you've been saying for a long time.
Yeah, which I've been saying, like, obviously, with Randy Orton making the save on SmackDown, and then obviously once he picks up the WWE Championship, takes a look at it and gives it to, Cody, and it's like, all right, it's bound to happen. It's a matter of time, right? With Seth, it's like, all right, you lose this, and it's like, damn, you lose kind of like all types of credit. It not only takes a hit on Seth, but it kind of takes a hit on the whole vision on the group in itself. Because if your leader looks weak, then everybody else comes crumbling down. So having Seth win here will be the move to go. And again, I don't know. It's a very good question you just asked me, because
even if Braun and Bronson or Breaker and Reed win the tag belts, which I think is going to be almost inevitable now.
Yeah, that's also like a matter of time as well.
Because Seth's champ, right? So then it's like, yo, you're still a champ.
Yeah.
Now you got the tag champs. I don't think there's value lost for Rollins.
Yeah, no, it wouldn't make any sense for Cody. Cody has and it's going to be weird to say, Cody, I think, has reached a peak in terms of popularity, right? Now, right. Okay. With Seth, it's like you can take Seth's championship heel run to another level, where, again, having that ring boosts his ego. The fact that he brags about, oh, yeah, I beat Cody Rhodes, and all those losses that I had against Cody are erased because, you know what? I just defeated him. Like I beat him when it mattered the most, right? So it's stuff like that where you can build around Seth Rollins and then obviously make his faction even stronger than it already is. If you want to bring somebody in, you can do that. Now I can't really answer what will be, Seth Rollins' next feud. Because like I don't know. I really don't. After Cody Rhodes, I really don't know who do you want to put. I don't know if you want to put LA Knight. I don't know if you want to do CM Punk again for a third time. Like I don't know. Even though CM Punk is due for a championship shot. So all I know is Seth has to defeat Cody Rhodes in Australia.
Okay.
At Crown Jewel, or for the Crown Jewel championship, Seth Rollins has to win.
Okay. Fair take.
Continuing on the Monday Night Raw trend, Roman Reigns returns to help the Usos. For those who didn't catch Monday Night Raw, the main event was the Usos versus Reed and Breakker, right? And again, towards the end, Reed and Breakker are dominating, but out of nowhere, you get Roman Reigns, and he's walking down the ring with a chair, taking out Breakker, taking out Reed. And the Usos pick up the victory. Now, it's what happens after.
Which is probably the bigger picture, right? Which is crazy, right? Because Roman comes to take the show away, right?
Yeah.
He steals the show, and he's not even the biggest bullet point when the night's done, saying, "Oh, how was Raw, right? Or how was SmackDown, whatever it was. How was the event? How was the show?"
Right.
The fact that you look at, first of all, welcome back, Roman, right? So he's Roman's getting involved to help the Usos out for a brief period of time.
Crazy Bob.
Yeah. But now you look at everybody else, and I'll double down with you. You see Jay, right? So we've seen I don't want to say it's the progression or the regression of Jay, right? Being either a face or heel, right? Depending how you look at it, he's regressing into being a monster heel, or he's progressing to be, that. You see Jay being Roman Jr. What's up with Jimmy?
I think
two parts to it.
Yeah.
You see the Jey Uso situation.
Yeah.
How he's looking at his cousin like, yo, I'm trying to be like you. And then more so than that, you look back and see Jimmy, and it's like Jimmy's like, yo, what the fuck's going on?
Yeah. So again, this all feels like a full circle moment. And I'll explain why. With Jay, let's start with Jay. Mm-hmm. With Jay, it's clear. The fact that Roman Reigns came down, made the save for the Usos. I could be mistaken. He didn't even acknowledge Jimmy. He went straight to Jay. And I feel like the story is that Roman Reigns is preparing Jey Uso to be the next tribal chief or the next person to obtain the Ulafala, right? Mm-hmm. That's what it seems like, because for the past couple of weeks, we've seen an aggressive Jey Uso. And Roman telling Jey Uso, we're going to smash him and all that. So Jey Uso has slowly embraced what we saw from Roman's earlier days, right, as tribal chief. With Jimmy, I have a feeling
I think it's more like questions out that way now than even the whole Jason.
Yeah,
you see that happening.
It makes you question whose story. Obviously, this is another saga to the Bloodline saga, but you saw Jimmy's facial reaction, which again, he's not cool with what's happening and he's confused, right? And it makes you think, all right, so was Jay the main character? Was Jimmy? Was it Roman? I mean, remember that one match where I think Roman faced Jey Uso for the Ulafala. And Jimmy cost Jay. Huh?
Was it Hell in a Cell?
Well, they versed each other a couple times, but it was definitely Jey Uso versus Roman.
And then Roman fucked him up, and Jimmy's like, "Yo, that's your cousin. Like, what are we doing?" And then Roman chokes out Jimmy.
Yeah. So
correctly.
well, no. So there was one. Oh my god.
I'm trying to think which one, because the notable one was the fucking. Excuse me. Was the one with the Hell in the Cell where Jimmy comes in to break everything up. A whole lot of cinematic feel to it. The whole Jimmy trying to talk to Roman. Like that's your cousin, that's family. You don't be doing this. Blah 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 blah. And then Jimmy gets choked out by Roman, and so on and so forth. So that's one to me that's the most notable one, because Jimmy needs to see from the bloodline.
Yeah. Yeah, so and my apologies, people. I had a brain fart, but there was a match, between the two, and then Jimmy like cost Jay obviously the victory. Roman won, but like the following week, when Jimmy explains why he did, cost Jay, he said to Jay, "I didn't want you to become like him." So this is again a full circle moment where Roman is now trying to have Jay be him, or the next
next chapter and what's going on.
The next bearer, I guess, right, of the tribal chief or the Ulafala, and Jimmy's like, no, and I really, really, really hope that this leads to a Jimmy's singles title victory. Because Jey Uso, whenever he separated and went his own way, he
monster run.
Yeah, he exactly. He became IC champion on his own, and he became the world heavyweight champion, or whatever you want to call it. I hope this kind of leads to a similar path for Jimmy Uso. But again, this storyline right here has a lot of eyebrows raising, because it's like, all right, I'm hooked again. What's next? So right now it's like, what's next between Roman Reigns and Jey Uso, and where's this leading to? Because like it's crazy, because this all happened all of a sudden because Jey Uso recruited Jimmy to Raw because he needed help against the Vision.
Right.
And then now for the past couple of weeks, it's like Jay's been obsessed with the path of becoming world champion again. So
the dark side.
I don't know. I'm all for it though. I'm all for it.
I'm with you on that.
All right. So for those who didn't know, so NXT versus TNA, what was once called Invasion. The show was
very upset of why this became something, to be quite honest with you.
Yeah. The show was going to be called Invasion, but now it's the show has been renamed to Showdown.
That's stupid.
So again, the move or the name change comes after Israeli officials expressed their obviously their discomfort, their I guess you could say outrage, right? With the name of the event, right? Because it's the anniversary of when Hamas attacked Israeli, right?
Was it really?
Yeah.
Oh.
So it's
bothered by it, but I get it.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
So yeah. So I personally I get it why Israeli officials feel that way, but the fact that whole Invasion name, that's been in WWE forever.
Yeah.
Since obviously since when was it? 2001 or 2?
2001.
So yeah, that's the reason why
I get it.
That was, and I get it. And obviously, WWE wants to. They don't want to deal with this backlash, so they ended up changing the event name. So, yeah, it's going to be called NXT versus TNA Showdown, or just Showdown in general. So instead of Invasion, it's now called Showdown.
TNA versus NXT.
To be honest with you,
great.
I don't like the name Showdown.
It could have been something so much better.
If you honestly, and this is funny, if you weren't going to use the name Showdown, you could have just used the name Takeover.
You know,
you could have brought back the Takeover name. I mean, that's just me, but.
And did you have NXT Takeover, NXT versus TNA?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. The whole changeup was crazy. He could have done a whole lot of different things. And it was just like, I don't know. The idea of just determination when it comes to wrestling is only one thing you know, and that's WWF versus WCW and ECW. And it's just, the Austin being the mole, the back and forth, the Kurt Angle cover, what could have been. We spoke about it last time. You could have had what could have been, the NWO, Sting, Goldberg versus Austin, Rock, Taker, Kane, and Mick Foley. You could add Booker T and then Jericho, put those two together. You can make it 7, have Rey Mysterio in there and put somebody else. Like, you know what I'm saying? There's just so much so much hype, so much possibility behind that. And then we find out the reason why things went down was because of money. And now money's not an issue here. You're having just two companies go against each other.
Yeah.
In the same umbrella. And it's perfect. Invasion is just the same concept as back again. It's perfect. And it just didn't. It's going to be a good show. I'm going to be excited for it anyways. I just don't like how it went from Invasion to Showdown. They could have been like a whole lot better. They could have been better about it. But you're saying use TakeOver. That's perfect. Let's just say NXT NXT TakeOver, NXT versus TNA, and leave it at that. Nothing else.
Yeah.
So I don't know. But it won't take away the value of what the show is going to be. It's just going to be an adjustment saying,
I'm still excited because obviously
it's like a 10 out of 10. That's I think is great because I'll forever love the Invasion pay-per-view.
Yeah.
So if I could have a replication would be great.
Yeah. But again, it's not gonna deflect my interest. I'm still what's it called? I'm still hooked to this storyline. I mean, to this whole situation between NXT and TNA. On something that in the beginning I thought NXT was getting the best out of this partnership, but now slowly but surely TNA is getting something in return. And I'll talk to you more about it in a couple of minutes. Let's talk about Jade Cargill.
She got laced.
Yeah. So for those who didn't know, this past Friday night's episode of WWE SmackDown, so Jade Cargill got injured when she was thrown into the ring steps by Nia Jax, and then all of a sudden she had a gash right above her eye, and it wasn't pretty. She started obviously bleeding, and then shortly after, I think she posted a picture of the gash, and it was
she got stitched up. It was
put on. Yeah. So I mean, I'm pretty sure she'll be out for like a couple of weeks, not too long, but obviously
whenever the top stuff heals up and whatnot.
Yeah, but obviously it did require stitches above her eye, and now it's just a matter of having that heal as quickly as possible. But I'm glad that it wasn't something worse than it.
It could have been worse.
Yeah, it could have been. I mean, for you to hit the side of the steel and that gash right above, like imagine hitting like
eye.
Yeah,
you could crack the orbital bone. You could have cracked the skull from the forehead.
Yeah,
so I think she's okay. She'll be fine. We'll see her in like 2 months. I think it should be 2 months. You have October. You have a good game plan to set up for her to come back for the Rumble or something like that.
Yeah. All right. So let's move on to AEW, which again we had a return, right? Listen,
are you going to call us a return? Just welcome back from vacation. That's what I'm telling you. We spoke about the one-offs for Copeland being that going to WWE for. They just did it with Andrade. Andrade leaves AEW.
I mean, he
How
makes
many times
history.
WWE
He makes history. He's the first person to
leave and
go
then
to
come back?
leave AEW to go to WWE and then come back. I mean, listen, good for him. I mean, to be completely honest with you, um, I don't know whether this says something about him or the company. I just feel like wherever he goes, there's
Something
nothing.
happened.
There's nothing for him. Ever since he went from NXT, where in NXT he was built beautifully as the NXT World Champion, then went to the main roster, he had a decent
It
run.
was okay.
But then ever since going to AEW the first time didn't pan out, going back to WWE didn't pan out, and now going back to AEW. I mean, a lot of people were all right. So here's the one thing: a lot of people were shocked because it's like, oh wait, how did that happen so fast? Well, usually when superstars were released, they have the 90-day policy. But he didn't have that 90-day policy attached. So let's see what happens during this run in WWE. Hopefully, it's not another lackluster run. He attacked one of the one of AEW's main guy in Kenny Omega, and quickly, right, he joins the Don Callis family.
What are they at now? Like 9?
No, they are at like 14, which I wanted to kind of like bring that up to you. Do you think that's a lot for a faction?
Yes. You know when WCW went to shit? Is when the entire roster was NWO, all to lose to Sting every other night. At this rate, you're gonna have half the fucking roster part of the Don. I'll return the question to you. I think it's stupid as shit. It's probably the one big issue in AEW, which is this.
Okay.
So I'm gonna go and let's progress. 6 months from now, we get to 18. We'll make it even 20. We'll go all the way to 20. There'll be 20 members of the Don Callis family at this rate. What is the end game to us in the first place?
That's all right. So that's one thing that I don't know. Like, what is the end game with what is the end game?
Everything is cool.
I mean, listen. Let me name them. So it's Don Callis himself.
Okay.
Then you have Andrade, who joined yesterday. You have El Clon, who joined yesterday. So for those who are wondering, El Clon is played by Arez. So he pretended to be Hologram. Who, I mean, the guy who's really playing Hologram, he's injured. He's going to be out with a knee injury. So El Clon is somebody who was pretending to be Hologram. So that's 3, right? Who debuted yesterday. Then you have Kyle Fletcher. You have Okada. You have Takeshita. You have Josh Alexander. You have Warlow. You have Lance Archer. You have Hechicero. You have Rocky Romero. You have Mark Davis, if you want to count him. You have Brian Cage, and you have Trent Beretta. 14. And out of all of them, we haven't seen much of Rocky Romero, Mark Davis, Brian Cage, and Trent Beretta. So those 4 we haven't, but they're still part of the faction.
So 10 active that we know of. 10 of the 14 are active. Yeah. Okay. Where is the payoff for having all these guys? Did Don Callis get number 21 and 21 becomes whoever it may be? Like, suppose they get MJF. Just cause MJF. Also, Don Callis dubs everybody else for him. And then they all turn on Don Callis himself. You know what I'm saying? Like, what is the purpose of having all these members do something? Who are they going after?
So that's what I really don't know. To be honest, I really don't know. I just I don't know where they're going with this. Like, it's a nice group of guys, but see, like, all right, let me tell you, Kyle Fletcher, I understand because now he's like the face of that group. I think Okada, there was no like. Don't get me wrong, Don Callis is an excellent mouthpiece. So that's why.
Who on that
But
group
but
that faction
but,
needs a mic?
but hold on.
Does
I
need a
think
mic?
I think Okada, Takeshita, and Warlow. I think they just put people who needed a mouthpiece, right? But Kyle Fletcher, I love the idea of him being in the group. Okada, I thought it was weird that he left like the Elite or the Young Bucks and then joined these people. And I'm like, okay, all right. Takeshita has already been there, but Takeshita, it seems like he's going to deflect very, very soon because of tensions with Okada. And then Josh Alexander, super, super, super talented, and who I think is better off on his own. You just put him in the group. And then now you add Andrade, super talented. You put him in the group. I get worried that they're going to be hot commodities for a second, and then just going to like forget about them. That's I don't want to say I don't want to jump the gun. It appears to be kind of a lazy booking kind of thing, but that's just my opinion. I hope it gets better, but it makes sense why these people are in this group because Don Callis is an excellent representative and excellent at doing promos, and he's kind of like their Paul Heyman. So
for the entire roster. I'm telling you,
I think it's a lot, but
October 2nd, 2025. By March, it's going to be at 20. I'm calling it. We're at 14.
I don't know. I don't know. I'm just like,
there's no reason. I mean, I get Andrade, but it's like, I don't know. I'm not too fond of the idea of him. Welcome back, Andrade. Hopefully, this is going to be something that works out. But
we'll see. We'll see.
Like, bro, what are you doing? Like, what are we doing here?
Word. All right, continue on the AEW trend. The world title match is set for AEW Wrestle Dream, and it was really, really weird how it was all set up. So obviously after their victory, right? AEW World Champion Adam Hangman Page and Samoa Joe got into it, which is super weird. So Adam Hangman Page, Samoa Joe, and Powerhouse Hobbs were in a match against the Death Riders, right? And while they were celebrating, Page handed Hobbs his trios title, and then did the same for Joe, kind of like pushed it to Joe's chest, but then let it drop. So Joe took it as an offense, then confronted Page about it, and then obviously it turned into a whole verbal altercation, and which then needed security. So then shortly after, it was announced that Samoa Joe will challenge Adam Hangman Page for the AEW World Championship.
Hey man, let's get.
I just thought it was really weird how it all like. I mean, we all know Samoa Joe has a short fuse, but the whole like
all it takes is a bump to the chest with a
belt. Like Adam Hangman Page legit like you like brought him the championship like here and brought it to Joe's chest, and like I guess Joe didn't catch it, so Page like dropped it. The title dropped, and Joe's like is he serious? Like are you kidding me? Like, and so then went to confront Adam Hangman Page, and next thing you know, we have a match for the AEW World Championship at WrestleMania.
It's gonna be a great match. I just I was like, all right, who cares? Have the build. Yeah.
All right. Another championship match set for Wrestle Dream, and that's Tony Storm is set to challenge Chris Statlander.
That'll be fun.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at Tony Storm without the AEW Women's World Championship, it looks weird.
Yeah, it's odd.
It looks weird. I'm sorry, but she looks like like
a shell of herself.
Yes, and that's what we saw in black and white. And that's the match we're getting. Listen, I wonder if Tony Storm goes back into the dark side. I mean, Chris Statlander, who's been in the company since day one, deserves this spotlight that she's in as AEW World Champion. So I'm happy for her. And your first title defense is against Toni Storm, who's been carrying this division. Again, I think this is a perfect spot for Statlander.
Not Mercedes Hogan Monet.
No. No.
It's fine,
but a victory. I think a victory here for Statlander will and it will give her reign tremendous credibility. If she loses it here against Toni Storm, I don't know what I might think, or I don't know what I might say, because it wouldn't make any sense. I think you need to have Statlander successfully defend here.
Yeah, what's the point of giving her the belt if she's not going to have a run for it?
Yeah, speaking about Mercedes Monet, so again, she has issued a open challenge
for which belt?
For her TBS championship.
Oh, one of like 12 belts. It's cool.
Yeah.
Next subject.
So
not
no, actually no. This one is a little intriguing because, so. So for those who don't know, so Dynamite next week will not be on Wednesday. It will go head to head with NXT on Tuesday. So she has laid a challenge right for next week, and she mentioned or she called out any like Floridians who want to wrestle her next week. So a lot of people already started scrambling. All right, so who's set to challenge? You know what? Former WWE superstar Shotzi Blackheart, she's already kind of like teased, answering the challenge. Another name that's been thrown out there is another WWE superstar or former Dakota Kai. So who knows who will challenge Mercedes Monet? I don't want to say that I'm looking forward towards the match because I think the end result will be the same. But having we might get somebody a new debut, a new all elite member. So I'm looking forward to that.
Understandable. Yep. I just still sit here and say, hey, Mercedes gonna win. Keep moving forward. On to the next.
Yeah. Okay, and then on some quick TNA news, as you saw, or if you don't know, so NXT's Kaylani Jordan, she became
no. She's now. We can talk about this Showdown anyways. TNA is Kaylani Jordan. If you really peep at what happened during the whole, who's going to be on whose team, who calls somebody a traitor, and blah, 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 blah. So give Kalani her respectable title because
I wish, so this whole match, right? So, by the way, congratulations to Kalani Jordan becoming Knockouts World Champion.
Yes.
But this whole match, right? This whole Survivor Series style tag match, right? So for the women's side, right, it's JC Jane, Jada Parker, Sol Ruka, and Lola Vice, right? Mm-hmm. Against Team TNA, which is Kalani Jordan, NXT, Casey Lee, and Jessie McKay, the Iconics, right? Former WWE, and Jakara Jackson, former NXT. So I really don't see any TNA flavor in that match. And that's where I'm going with this. It's all former WWE people.
Do you think it's going to be an NXT victory in this situation?
I don't know. I think I don't know
by Kalani Jordan.
I don't know, because it's like, will there be a traitor? Will somebody deflect? Like for me, Kalani Jordan, who was NXT to be TNA's captain, it made zero sense. Zero. Yes, I know that she is the TNA Knockouts World Champion, but I just don't. I don't know.
Whereas look at the men's side of things, you got
and then everybody's like questioning like Jordan Grace and Joe Hendry's like loyalty. Obviously, I mean, and rightfully so, because Jordan Grace went from TNA to NXT,
And Joe
then
Hendry might be not too far
and
along.
then Joe Hendry is in transition, so who knows? Then we have the men's.
Ricky Saints, Trick Williams, Javon Evans, and Miles Bourne. That's team NXT, and then Team TNA is Mike Santana, your boy, Frank Kazarian, Moose, my boy, and Leon Slater.
I love that because so for Team TNA, that is TNA. Like I like that. I like that team. And then for NXT, the only thing I don't like is probably Miles Bourne. And I'll tell you why. I get this whole thing with trying to build Miles Bourne up. I just don't think he's there yet.
Who would you replace him with?
The guy who I can't believe was not mentioned or didn't appear at all, S.F.W.P. But with S.F.W.P. not being mentioned, with S.F.W.P. not being there, I think he might be main roster bound.
That's probably the only reason why
he wouldn't. That's the only thing that's going through my mind that says, like, all right, why wasn't S.F.W.P. present during this? It's because he's probably heading to the main roster, or
could be Survivor Series, could be backtrack, getting ready for the Rumble, just being held off TV for a while. But it's over. Once Ricky beat him, and I've asked that many a times when we talk about S.F.W.P. I was like, when I even said it, when he loses his belt is when he goes on vacation and then comes back and he'll be on the main roster for whatever point in time. Now we're in October, and unless you see a TNA entry in Survivor Series, you're probably going to see S.F.W.P. in January at the Royal Rumble.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. And then we have a winners take all title for title, right? You have TNA, right? The Hardy Boys versus NXT's Dark State.
Is this the Hardys goodbye?
I think the Hardys take both titles.
Oh, so they're going to keep going.
I think the Hardys take both titles. I feel like, yes, you're trying to build Dark State, right? And this is probably me going against like everything that I previously said, but you like NXT can't get the best out of TNA. Like NXT can't get capture every single title that TNA possesses, right? So this is a scenario where so since Trick has the world champion, since Kalani has the knockouts, this is where the Hardys take the NXT Tag Team Champions. And then you have another interesting scenario for the NXT North American Championship: Ethan Page versus Mustafa Ali.
Mustafa.
This is another scenario where I wouldn't mind if Mustafa Ali like took the NXT.
Do you think Page loses? Are you putting that in the air that Ethan Page, all ego? Listen, it is. I want him on the main roster.
Yes, I do.
Okay,
I absolutely love Ethan Page and his work. It's been incredible. I just think that you kind of erase everything you did wrong with Ali, and you kind of like give him credit and you crown him champion here.
And now he comes back to TNA. It comes back to NXT as your North American champion.
Yeah, so that's the way I would go. And all right, and then to close out the show, so Carlos Silva says TNA Wrestling is in active negotiations with a network. Now he didn't say what, but TNA President Carlos Silva kind of like confirmed that there has been talks, right? He says we're now in active negotiations with a partner, and we're going to work through that. And he continues saying, I can't really put a timeline on how long that will take. The good news is the process has started. We're no longer just talking to a bunch of people of gauge interest. Now we have an interested partner and working through potentially a deal for 2026. It's going to happen as soon as it can happen. We were working on it as recently as yesterday, exchanging papers and trying to figure it all out. I'm sorry, and trying to figure it out. We're excited about it and keep pushing it forward to get this over the finish line. It's done. It's done whenever it's over the finish line. So this is tremendous news for TNA.
So they're finally getting back to where they once were.
Yeah.
Well, if they land a channel, you're gonna be in a situation where it's like, yo, these guys are finally back on TV on a consistent basis.
Yep.
And now you get the impact. You get old Impact Wrestling. You get back total nonstop, not just TNA, you get back total nonstop action, which is probably the best thing. So here's my my idea for you.
Okay.
You know, WWE is working with who right now when it comes to their TV networks? You're on with Peacock, right? And you got Disney. You got those two options, right? Do you think NBC gets TNA?
I don't know.
NBC channel gets TNA.
I don't know. That's a very good question. I really, really, really don't know. All I can tell you is that, all right, listen, whether it's Sci-Fi, whether it's the USA Network, that would be huge for TNA because obviously it gets more eyes on them. So if TNA are able to secure a network, then you can say, yeah, this partnership with TNA and WWE worked well for both sides because, all right, hey, we like NXT got TNA's talent, right? But TNA ended up getting a whole network.
Right.
And that's when you can build. Now, if let's say if WWE were to acquire, TNA in the future, let's just say,
Bravo.
There's a lot of channels. There's just a lot of channels, but I think it would be the ones that WWE would be familiar with. So that's why I said like either Sci-Fi, the USA,
UPN. Remember UPN 9?
Is that even still a channel?
I don't know, but SW5 it was.
Yeah, so I think that's the whole point of what WWE is trying to do. They're trying to position TNA to be in a good spot, and to be honest with you, WWE is petty enough to have TNA look better than AEW.
Probably knowing how much of the asshole they took for 3 straight years, 2 straight years.
So
and all of a sudden they got Triple H took over and everything changed.
Yeah, so that's like WWE's goal is just to make TNA the number 2 wrestling company in the world. So we'll see what happens. I mean, we're gonna continue or learning about this as the weeks go, but this is huge positive news for TNA.
I'm all for it. I just think seeing TNA being total nonstop action again, just seeing how reckless it was. Like we spoke about the Mount Rushmore of TNA, just having them together is just like, oh, it's all so perfect. It's poetic to see them coming back after dealing with, the Hulk Hogan era, the poor business deal that they made throughout the years. They were off TV. They were on like some small, tiny channel for whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
No, it's tough. But you know what? It's something that's like they're finally back. So it's just great to see it finally happen for them. It's just like, as someone who, as you did, sometimes when WWE wasn't doing so well and you got, what can you watch? You don't watch New Japan, you're watching fucking TNA on Spike, on, all these backwater channels that didn't get much run as what they used to, and see that happen, and then finally be back in the picture is great. Maybe Paramount. Spike TV is now Paramount, so it's like maybe they get back on that station again, get that that random that Thursday at 9:00 slot.
Yeah, who knows? Again, we have to see what happens. I mean, I think this whole thing with and I'll be honest with you, with this whole thing with WWE and TNA, it's kind of like re-engage my interest in TNA. Because there was not that I like, I obviously the TNA old days when they were coming up I loved, but then they obviously went through a rough patch, right? And now they're like slowly being, relevant. I don't know. I think us, the fans, are truly the winners out of all this because we're getting so many new matchups, so many like new things that we didn't even think were possible. And it's just crazy. It's just crazy to think about.
It's great. It's just great things all together.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it was great. We'll have an episode next week. That'll do it for us in today's episode of the Sunset Flip Wrestling Podcast. We appreciate you guys tuning in week and week out, showing nothing but love. Tuning in, checking us out, hearing us out on a regular basis. If you can't catch us live, we're on Twitter, we're on Twitch, we're on YouTube, we're on TikTok. If you can't catch the videos, catch the audios on anywhere you get your podcasts and platforms from, whether it's Apple, whether it's Spotify, Google Podcasts, anywhere, we're on it. If you want to check out some videos, you can check us out on Facebook. If you want some updates, check us on Facebook, check us on Twitter. We get updates. If there's wrestling on, you'll hear about it from us.
Facts.
So, yeah, from us to you guys, we appreciate it. Catch y'all next time.
Yep. Thank you for tuning in.